Hello and welcome to my report, EastMojo's daily evening news bulletin update. We bring you the latest happenings and the biggest developments from East and Northeast of India. I'm Simran Bajaj and I'll be giving you the updates from Assam. We're being joined by our state correspondents. We have Irani Sonawal Lepcha from Arunachal Pradesh, Chandan Pandey from Tripura, Medulina Ambrosia from Nagaland, Wangamla Salik Kappai from Manipur, Princess Giri Rashid from Meghalaya. So as we start, I would like to give you the latest updates from Assam. So today, Assam saw 47 new cases and 29 persons were discharged from the state today. So currently, looking at our total COVID-19 tally, Assam has so far reported 1,877 cases, of which 442 patients have been discharged. We have 1,428 active cases, 4 deaths, and 3 people have migrated to other states. Moving on, let's head to Arunachal Pradesh, where Inari will be giving us updates about new COVID cases.
Hi Simran. So there are 4 fresh cases of COVID-19 which were reported today, which include 3 cases from Changlang district and 1 from Alo, which is under West Siang district of Arunachal Pradesh. So far, the highest cases are from Changlang, there is 28 cases, followed by 7 from Capital Complex and 1 each from Namsai, Lohit, Pakekesang, Upper Siang, West Siang and Tawang. So as of now, there are 41 active cases in the state and the state tally is at 42. Just 1 got recovered in the month of April, which was the first case reported in the state. And I would like to also tell our viewers or inform our viewers about a report which was filed by me today regarding the seizure of 26 vehicles, especially 22 Fortuners, 2 numbers of Creta and 2 Brezza. So this seizure is worth of more than 9 crore rupees, and this is the largest seizure made by the police of Arunachal Pradesh till date. And interestingly, one of the Toyota Fortuner belongs to the former Chief Minister of Bihar, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, and a case under robbery was registered at Gurugram police station in Haryana. So those 26 vehicles, out of those 26 vehicles, 16 were from Delhi, 4 were from Haryana, 1 was from UP, and 5 are still untraced. And this is a good major breakthrough in terms of robbery and theft of SUVs in the state. And coming to the other report, which I have already filed, and viewers can go and log into our website, eastmojo.com, wherein they can find the latest update reports about Arunachal and other northeastern states as well. I have written a report on, as we already know that June 19 is the date when Rajya Sabha elections will be held in 24 seats throughout India, out of which 1 seat is from Arunachal, and our present MP Rajya Sabha, Mr. Mukut Mithi, will be retiring on 23rd of June. And but the names which are coming forward from our sources are R.K. Khirme, which is one of the former ministers of Arunachal Pradesh. The other one is Tai Tagak, who is the former BJP president. Tamio Taga, again a former BJP minister, and Dr. Tangor Tapak, former BJP president, as well as former minister. Mr. Nabam Rebia, former minister again. Talo Mugli, again a former minister. So these are some of the senior BJP leaders whose names are coming forward for the Rajya Sabha MP contenders. Simran.
Thank you so much for that update, Irani. Today we are being joined by legislator M. Kikon, who's the spokesperson for COVID-19 in Nagaland. So I would like Meadow to please go ahead with the session with Sir on COVID-19 updates from Nagaland. Hello,
Hello,
Meadow.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Meadow.
Hi, Simran. So today I'm joined by a legislator, the advisor, IT, Science and Technology, NRE, who is also the spokesperson for COVID-19. And with him, we also have the principal director, Dr. Vizoli Shokhe. And thanks for giving us this time. This morning, about 22 cases were reported here in the state of Nagaland. And so I'm quickly moving to our advisor to ask us, to get more updates in this regard. So we have recorded the highest spike here this morning, 22 of them, all Chennai returnees. But in regard to these, can you give us more updates about the situation they are into and also under which districts they are availing the treatment, sir?
So before I answer that, I would also like to inform our viewers that Principal Director Health and Family Welfare is with me. So for all the other details, he'll also be supplementing me in the process. 22 fresh cases came up since the test per day has increased to 171 as on 3rd June 2020. According to the medical department, all 80 patients are stable, with 64 asymptomatic cases and 16 with mild symptoms. And the breakup is in Manipur District Hospital, 4 in Kohima, Naga Hospital, Kohima, and 13 in Chedema, and 5 in Twinsang District Hospital. So the spike is not because the tests were done today. The samples were taken, swabs were taken before, but the results were declared today only.
So there's a little bit of confusion among our people because one of them who tested positive out of the 22, one isn't parent in Jaluki. So somebody from the medical department earlier confirmed it with me. And in this case, this is also something very similar to the incident that happened in Twinsang, which of course sparked controversy here in our state. So in this regard, is it another case of quote-unquote communication gap, or what is it, sir?
So, you see, the only similarity is that the positive case, because of certain issues, was sent along with the negative cases to Jaluki. But there the similarity ends. This is a little different from the case in Twinsang. And our principal director will give you all the details now. I request our principal director to address that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, this morning there was some confusion, but then immediately we have taken the actions. And what we have done is we have isolated the patient into the COVID ward of Jaluke, and the other initiative which we have taken is we have almost completed the contact tracing. And all those people who are in our contact radar, they are put into the containment. So we are very clear about what has been done. Then our Honorable Minister has already mentioned about the total status of the patients. Out of 80, I make one correction, 57 in Dimapur, one sent to parent. So one that correction, I've made it. One thing about these 80 cases, if we look at it, they are in the age group of 18 to 44 years, and with none of them are having a problem. All 64 cases, as mentioned, are asymptomatic. And to be frank, in most of the places now, these cases are supposed to be home isolation. But we are taking extra, and the government is giving extra care that these people are giving proper care so that we don't have community transmission. Then about 16 of them are having mild case, but as I said, all these cases, all the 80 cases are fit to be having a home isolation. But since our government is taking extra care, we are doing our best. So none of these cases are having any severe or moderate issues. So no ICU, no oxygen requirement, no special medications, but psychological, mental therapy. That is the most important for them with nutrition.
Sir, but the question here is the person who tested positive in Tuensang tested positive this morning itself, which means that the person was already. In parents, sorry. So, which means that there was a breach of the SOP because according to the SOP, China returnees are supposed to be tested, and after their results are declared, we are supposed to be sent there. So there is I think a mismatch of this.
I think we have already acknowledged that before I give time to PD. Let me just situate the entire event into the proper context. Number one, the fact that the SOP for Chennai returnees, especially the new SOP, revised SOP, especially Part A2, there was a violation. So if you look at it from that perspective, there is a violation, but you should look at the issue from two perspectives, which I would place before you. One is that when we identified that there was a error of judgment by the frontline worker there on the ground, immediate action was taken. The health department has informed me that they have immediately asked for an explanation from the CMO Dimapur, Chief Medical Officer Dimapur. Number two, after doing that, immediate containment, contact tracing, and attempt to ensure that community spread does not happen was initiated. And we are happy to say that at least there is no threat to the community, there is no threat to anyone because of this. Because the government has been able to put our systems in place, we were able to, because of just one error. If it had been the case that it resulted in community spread, then we can say that there has been an error which is affecting the community. The danger has been contained. So I think one of the when I was discussing with the health department also, I would like to say, Meadow, that they've been very proactive and error of judgment from one frontline worker. They have been active, they have been there on the ground since day one. So it was necessary that the principal director asked for a proper explanation immediately. So I'm happy to say that at least the CMO was able to give the report and explanation immediately. So for us and for the medical department, I was told, the concern was not the error committed alone. The concern was to ensure that there is no community spread, there is containment of the case in Jaluki itself. So henceforth, if you look at the action of the entire district administration in parent event, you would like to contact parent TC for all the action they have taken for a report on the ground. As for us, we have also got all the report, and for which I would like to mention only these two particular perspectives. Before I give it to PD, if you want to add any.
No, I think that's enough.
Sir, also makes me curious because in the first case, in Tuensang case, a judicial inquiry committee was set up. Will something likely be also in this regard, or because the CMO has reported already to our principal director, such inquiry committee will not be set up for this?
So this case is, like I said, the only similarity is that there was a positive case whose test result was not out, and a violation of the revised SOP was there. Therefore, that was the similarity with the Tuensang case. But there the similarity ends. Here it was not any decision. SOP was very clear. Number one, because the revised SOP has been very clearly stated. And an error of judgment of one frontline worker led to this incident, whereby the medical department, especially the directorate, under the leadership of our principal director here, immediately asked for an explanation. So I would not say show cause notice, I would not say explanation call, but which was sufficient enough at this relatively short span of time. The agenda and the objective was to ensure that this error of judgment does not spread into the community, and it does not threaten the life of the other returnees who were traveling the same vehicle as the positive case. and those people who have also tested negative after coming from Chennai. So this was an issue which is slightly different from the Tilsan issue, and therefore the action taken, CMO has been asked to reply. CMO has been asked to give an explanation. So there was no need for here, in this case, to go for a judicial inquiry, because already the case is very clear. Already the responsibility is fixed on who made the error of judgment. And so disciplinary action to that nature has been taken.
Okay, so one question that I wanted to ask was in regard to a migrant worker who was here in Nagaland and migrated back to Assam. There were reports that a person who was here in Nagaland and has gone back to Assam has tested positive. Is the state government concerned about this? And if so, like any contact tracing back to our state?
This is a very interesting case. And we have seen many cases which have actually, attracted the attention of the entire state of Nagaland. If you look at the amount of work that our doctors and nurses, especially the frontline workers, are putting in, and the focus of the state government on how to manage and ensure that our returnees are, following the proper protocol, how to manage, there are cases of unruly inmates as well in many quarantine centers, which have been challenging, the state personnel as well. But in the light of all this, there was this case which came up. So appropriately, the medical department had instituted an immediate inquiry. So although it is 6:48 p.m. now, the response has been there from before. I would like to ask our PD to explain what happened with this case. Although before you say, I would say I want to emphasize that he was a migrant labor. Yeah.
Migrant labor stranded in Dimapur. He came to medical department to get the clearance to go to Assam. On 13th of May, it was cleared. He went, and then finally on 28th May, he was tested positive. So it could be possible that he contracted infection from Assam only. So I think I won't say more than that.
But you can also add whether there has been no community spread in
no
Nagaland.
Community spread in Nagaland. There is no community spread in Nagaland. So we are clear about that.
So the number of cases are also spiking up here in our state, especially in regard to Dimapur and Kohima. And with just 2 COVID hospitals in Kohima, I believe the second one is already activated as well. And a tourist lodge in Dimapur is supposed to be converted to a COVID hospital. The first question is, rather than a hospital, why did the government decide to choose, a tourist lodge to be converted to a COVID hospital? How long is it going to take? And the second question, is there any plans to expand COVID hospitals here in the state?
He is better placed to respond. Before I give it one just point, I would like to add to this. I would like to respond. See, if you look at the location, the tourist lodge has a good infrastructure. It's close to the railway station. But more importantly, it's close to the civil hospital, which is the COVID hospital, Dimapur. So, in addition, the principal director may respond.
You have pointed out rightly, activated already. And we have, as I've mentioned, our load is mostly on the asymptomatic cases or mild cases, which need not require medical infrastructural facilities, which need not require ICU to be built. So immediately, this can be converted into, you can call it as a COVID care center rather than COVID hospital. So COVID care center, we put mild or asymptomatic cases. We observe them, and after 14 days, if they are fit, they'll be sent home.
This is also under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare guidelines.
Right.
Also, Doctor, if you can just explain what is asymptomatic?
Okay.
To our viewers.
Yes. Actually, when we said asymptomatic, there is no sign of fever, no cough, no body ache. The person is fully healthy. He is able to work. He can do his normal works. So these cases, we call it as asymptomatic. And when we said mild means someone is having, a running of nose, or maybe irritation of throat, or maybe cough. So those are the mild cases we talk about. When it comes to moderate, the patient may have fever, cough, throat pain, or maybe even little difficulty in breathing. But when it comes to severe cases, then that comes what we call severe acute respiratory disease syndrome, we call it. That is called, that including all these symptoms, the patient will have shortness of breath. So that is what we call it severe. Then when we talk about people who are requiring ICU assistance, it may be intubation, that means ventilator is required. It may be oxygen support, so that may not require intubation. And if we look at the whole study of the coronavirus, about 85 to 90% are asymptomatic, means non-symptoms, and or maybe mild. Few may be having about moderate. About 1 to 2% may require ICU treatment. So I think when we talk about coronavirus today, everyone is, coronavirus is a death sentence. It's not like that. Many people will be maybe positive, not known, but recovered. So 85, 90% are recovering like that. That situation also may be there. So when we say that this coronavirus infection is mild or having no symptoms, means we are having a belief that all these people will be recovered without any medical assistance, medicinal assistance. So I think what we need to know is coronavirus is not as deadly as we fear about it. We don't need to be afraid. We have to learn to live with it. And what is the most important thing is social distancing we talk about. Cough hygiene, then hands hygiene, and wearing mask. So in the crowded places, these are the best practices and we should continue to practice this.
Sir, so does that sum up that rather than COVID-19 hospitals, our state is preparing for COVID care centers?
Yes, that is what we are trying. And as on the other day also, I think I've interacted with you people, and I said that as and when the situation arises, we are preparing plans. We will activate that as per the load of the cases.
Would you like to add something to that?
I mean, the approach has always been holistic. It is not just, one issue comes up and that is the only, remedy that we will be searching for, because this is pandemic. This pandemic is an issue which, or a challenge which has to be addressed, one, collectively. Number two, it's not just the medical facility. The other aspects of handling and containing the disease requires people's participation, mostly. If you see a lot of our returnees in, the quarantine centers, I mean, social distancing, or let us say physical distancing, it is a personal responsibility. The state government can only do as much, and we are trying our level best. So we only want that people also fulfill their obligation of wearing a face mask and washing their hands regularly, and maintaining social distance, because that will ensure that you love your neighbor, because you are also concerned about your relatives, because it is a threat which is not of our making. It is something which is foreign, but it is a threat which is common to all. So the challenge has to be, addressed together. So that's why our Chief Minister has repeatedly said that we are Team Nagaland, come whatever may, for all the fear mongering, the rumor mongering that exists. I think the state has been very objective in ensuring that we will be able to deliver whatever services required wherever we have not been prepared. The state has admitted. The state has been very clear that we have not been prepared. Therefore, remedial measures have been taken. For instance, if you look at the TrueNet.
Yes.
TrueNet was declared by ICMR as, according to the doctors, 2 weeks back something, that it can, and its test is, valid to, show whether that person is negative or positive. Therefore, it was ordered immediately, and it is going to be set up in a day or two. So I think the intention is very clear of the state of government. And our frontline workers, I reiterate it again and again, our frontline workers, our policemen, our doctors and nurses, administrative officers are putting their time and effort without taking proper rest also. They are doing their best. And I think it is appreciable, it is commendable. And I think, the fact that when we do something, I think there should be space for appreciating our workers. It is important that we boost our morale in our attempts to face this challenge.
Okay, Simran, so we've heard it from our legislator, Monu Mokikon. We also had our Principal Director, Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Vizolis Shokri, and who better to address us at this time. So with that, with 22 cases here and more likely to increase in the state tomorrow and the days to come, as we've heard it from the experts themselves, the state is trying its best and we're hopeful. We also wish them the very best. And
Thank you.
All from Nagaland. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank, sir. I would like to thank both of you for taking out time and being there for our viewers. Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to head on. From Manipur, Sally, our correspondent, was unable to join us. So I will be giving you the updates from Manipur. So today, 13 new cases were detected in Manipur, amid which it was the first case with no travel history. There was also one case with no travel history. She's a nurse from Arunachal district in Manipur. So with that, Manipur has total 121 cases, out of which 83 are active cases and 38 people have recovered so far. Now I would like to move on to Sikkim, where Pankaj will be giving us updates about the new COVID case in the state. Pankaj.
Yeah, thank you, Simran. So we just got report that it was just an hour ago that we got the confirmation from the Health Director General also. The third case here being is a Mumbai returnee who was bound on a stomach train in Bogie number 4, as has been reported in this folio already. And as per his travel, he had a test conducted for him in Mumbai prior to his travel to back home to Sikkim. What it glaringly highlights is how his medical history was hidden in some aspects. And when we talked to the evacuation cell and the concerned official there, State Moral Officer Mr. Vijay Chongya, he also mentioned that there was an expectation from Mumbai that a certain case would actually come through from Mumbai. But elsewhere, the Health Director General, Dr. Tempat Siring Gutia, he claimed that it's a case of where the patient is he didn't highlight his medical history. What's been found out about the person and his travel is he was from the South District of Sikkim, and he was bounded to come to Sikkim on a special bus that was supposedly taking him to South Sikkim in a quarantine facility. But given his case coming to light during his travel, he's been brought here to Gangtok at SPNM Hospital, which is a COVID-devoted hospital. And now there are 3 patients inside that isolation ward, with the division being male and female. And I think 2 active cases that are currently being kept in the female ward of the isolation ward. These 2 cases have sprung up from in the last 2 days. The second case, both the first 2 cases were from Delhi returnees in separate times. one was on May 5th, and the other one was on June 2nd, May 25th, and June 2nd. So, in during these courses, I think the third case is also pointing out how stranded people or people coming into the state are the ones who are actually bringing the virus. There's a lot of buzz about it already that's making rounds. And as the evacuation cell director, state nodal officer, he mentioned, it was kind of expected that they thought it would be Mumbai who would actually be bringing in cases. And 191 people were rounded to Sikkim on that day. Of them, 13 were in the same bus with the patient. So those 13 people were not brought directly to the STNM hospital, and they are being taken to a special quarantine of specifically 13 people that have been identified through South. The patient has just reached STNM hospital, and he'll be getting the treatment starting today itself, I guess. And given the scenario, I think that there are 2 active cases right now, and one is on the verge of being discharged in the days to come, which should be around June 7th. He completes his 14 days of isolation in the facility, and since he's he's not symptomatic as of right now, and his virus load has comparatively come down, and the case could actually draw into a negative now. He's being isolated from the 2 active patients currently. That's the update from Sikkim.
Thank you so much for that update, Pankaj. Now I'd like to give you the brief from Mizoram. So last night, 3 new cases were detected in Mizoram. These are again 3 returnees to the state. So currently, Mizoram has 17 total cases, out of which 16 are active and 1 person has been discharged. As per the latest updates, 5 p.m. updates from DIPR Mizoram, the results for 340 samples are awaited, and the results for 340 samples are awaited from Mizoram. So with that, I would like to head on to Tripura, where Chandan will give us the latest updates of the happenings from the state.
Thank you, Simran. As we are talking about COVID-19, yes, Tripura yesterday registered one of the biggest spike with 151 cases coming in. The Chief Minister took his Twitter to inform us late at night, like he does every day. And so far now we have in our state 622 cases, of which 173 persons have been discharged after they recovered. So speaking about COVID, first and the foremost thing that I need to talk about today is that for the past 2 days, that is 48 hours, we have not been briefed by either any PRO from the health department or the minister concerned who holds a press conference every evening to inform and give us the details regarding COVID-19. So this gives us a view that the government is trying to hide something, to not give us all the details. The reports of the COVID-19 are being handed over after the fortnight. So this is something very scary, and people are afraid. We are not getting the update in time. We have to wait till morning, the numbers being tested, the samples being collected, all the data are being handed over early in the morning on the next day. So this becomes difficult for all the media person working here in the state to bring in light what's happening in our state. As I was talking, I've got the report as on 3rd June. I've not received anything about today, and maybe we'll get this tomorrow in the morning. So whatever I have in my hand right now, it suggests that so far 173 persons have been recovered out of 622 patients, and samples tested so far is 30,481. Samples collected is 33,378. While talking about people under quarantine, home quarantine is 507, while 13,267 people are in home quarantine. So this is the data of COVID-19. Also speaking about the trend which the state has got, last night, the people who have been placed in COVID care center, which is in Shahid Bhagat Singh Center, the patients over there are around 300 people who have been demanding for good quality food. They were not being provided by fresh food. They were not being provided by good food, following which they started protesting. The West District Magistrate rushed to the spot. Media persons were not allowed to get inside the gate since it's a buffer zone and nobody is allowed there. The district minister went there. He assured them that good quality food will be provided. Even the West Tripura MP, Ms. Pratima Bhomik, visited the quarantine, and then she spoke with all the people there. She assured that there will be no lack in providing good quality food. So this is the present scenario in our state when it comes to COVID-19, Simran.
Thank you for that update. And there's breaking news from Assam. 111 new COVID cases have been detected in Assam, which spikes Assam's total number of cases to 1,988. We are very close to touching 2,000 cases mark. We have 1,539 active cases, of which 442 people have been discharged. Assam has seen 4 deaths and 3 persons have migrated to other states. Of the 111 new cases detected today, 46 are from Hojai, 28 are from Udalguri, 11 from Kamrup Metro, 10 from Nagaon, 5 from Morigaon, 3 each from Nalbari and Gwalpara district, 2 each from Golaghat and Jorhat, and 1 from Dhubri. That's all from Assam. There's also some update about rubber farming from Tripura. So, Chandan, can you brief us about that?
Yes, thank you, Simran. Yeah, today we have published a copy in www.eastmojo.com. Viewers can read it. It's already published early in the morning. So, speaking about it, Tripura is the second largest rubber producer in India, and following this, a good number of people in Tripura are completely dependent upon rubber production. Around 2 lakh people are doing this work in our state. So, following the outbreak and lockdown, the rubber production is going on, but the export out of the 100%, whichever the farmers produce in our state, 90% of the rubber produced goes out of our state, since we don't have any factory here in Agartala or in Tripura. So all the rubber produced has to be exported somewhere else, abroad or in some other parts of the countries. So in last 2 months, the government has not been able to export rubber, following which the workers, the owners of the rubber garden, they are not being able to pay the wages of the worker who are engaged. Around 2 lakh people, as I just mentioned. Tripura produces around 68,000 metric ton rubber each year, and it is spread across 85,000 acres of land. So this gives us a view that how much people are suffering because the export and import is stopped. It is not functioning. The people, the agencies who were engaged in this work, they are not doing it now. So they are all hopeful that once the situation comes back to the normalcy returns, they will be able to get the money. They will be able to sell their stocks which they have placed at their houses. I've also spoken with some of the farmers who are engaged in this profession for the past 2-3 decades. They said that they have rubber sheet at their place, but they are not willing to sell it since the price has fallen like 50 to 60 rupees. It was sold at 140-50 rupees, but now they're selling it at 80 rupees in the market. That too, there is no such demand. So this is the situation when it comes to rubber production in our state, Simran.
Thank you so much for that update. I think with that, it's a wrap for today. I would like to thank our viewers for taking out time and watching our show and constantly supporting us. I would like all of you to visit www.eastmojo.com and read all the news and stories that we have discussed so far. If you have any suggestions or any ideas, please write to us at editor@eastmojo.com. We also have a dedicated fact-checking team. So if you come across any videos, images, or any other piece of information that you want to be fact-checked, please write to us. You can send it to us at editor@eastmojo.com or also send it to us on our Facebook page. With that, I would like to that's a wrap for today's show. Please stay connected with us from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. This is Simran Bajaj signing off.